بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله عز وجل وخير الهدى هدى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. What was collected by Imam Muslim Al-Bara ibn Azib, may Allah be pleased with him, said that the companions were sitting together collectively and amongst themselves in the absence of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were discussing about some of the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah between themselves, studying between themselves. A person would say something, and then they would discuss that issue, what they understood from that issue, what they expected from that issue, what Allah said in the Quran, what they heard the Prophet say about that particular issue, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then the Nabi came out to them, and he said to them, "Ma tadhakkarun?" What are you people talking about? What are you discussing? Before saying another word about this hadith, anytime we read where the Prophet asked the question, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what are you talking about? Like he said to those companions, it's a proof he's not hazir nazir. It's a proof he doesn't know the ilm al-ghayb. If he was everywhere, and if he knew everything, he would never ask the question, what are you people talking about? They said, we're discussing the hour, Ya Rasulullah. We're discussing the hour. We're learning about it amongst ourselves. He told them, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِنَّهَا لَن تَقُومْ حَتَّى تَرَوْنَ عَشْرَ آيَاتٍ. You should know that Yawm al-Qiyam is not going to be established until you see 10 things, until 10 things happen. And then he proceeded to tell them of the 10 major signs. He said that those 10 major signs was that there would be the dukhan, or the smoke that will come from the sky, the dabba, the big animal, the Dajjal is going to come out, Isa ibn Maryam is going to come down, Ya'juj and Ma'juj is going to appear after that, the 3 landslides, the sun is going to rise from the west and set in the east, and there's going to be a fire that comes out of Yemen, and it's going to drive the people to Yawm al-Qiyamah and where they're going to be judged. First point we want to make from this hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that it was from his sunnah, and it was from the sunnah of the companions to study about the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah. That's part of what is called the sunnah. So those scholars of the past who we honor, who we respect, who we give reverence to, they used to try to do everything based upon the sunnah. They avoided innovation. And Imam Sufyan al-Thawri said, if you can scratch your head by using a hadith of the sunnah, then do so, at least once in your life. A sunnah that you heard the Nabi did this, he did that, even if you're not going to do it all the time, be of the people who try to implement and inculcate as many sunnahs as you possibly can. And this was one of them that the companions used to be persistent upon. studying about Yawm al-Qiyamah and about the signs leading up to Yawm al-Qiyamah. Another issue about this hadith that's been collected by Imam Muslim is the fact that the mention of the Mahdi is inconspicuously left out of this hadith. He told them, you are not going to see Yawm al-Qiyamah until 10 things happen. He didn't mention the Mahdi. He mentioned the smoke, the Dajjal, the Dabba, the big animal, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Isa ibn Maryam is coming back, the 3 landslides, the sun coming from the east, from the west and setting in the east, and the fire that's going to come out of Yemen. And he didn't mention the Mahdi in this hadith. So are there 10 signs or are there 11? The scholars of Islam like Al-Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, who explained this hadith and all of the other subsequent hadith in Sahih Muslim, he brought the statements that the ulama al-hadith are of the opinion that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't mention the Mahdi in these 10 because the Mahdi is with Isa ibn Maryam. They're considered one because they're going to be together and they're so close in what they're going to do and what they're going to be upon in terms of their jihad, in terms of their hijrah, in terms of establishing Islam and so forth and so on. So concerning the coming back of the Masih, Isa ibn Maryam and the Mahdi, studying about these issues that I mentioned is from the Sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wasallam. So we're practicing one of the Sunnahs, and both of them have a lot that can be said. And when we talk about them, we only can believe in what's been established in the Quran and what's been established in the Sunnah. As for the khurafat, the shirk and the bid'ah and the ignorance that people come up with, all kinds of issues like that, if it's not established from authentic sources, then it has to be rejected. So there are a lot of things about the fiqh of Isa ibn Maryam. One of the issues that has been established in the Quran is that every Jew and every Christian, when Isa ibn Maryam comes back, he's going to believe in the reality of Isa ibn Maryam. The Jews who deny him and reject him, they're going to believe in his reality, that he's a Nabi and that he's a Rasul. The Christians who made him a God to be worshipped along with Allah, the Son of Allah, that was killed and he came back, they're going to believe in his reality of what Allah sent him with and why Allah sent him for. As Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَإِن مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا لِيُؤْمِنَنَّ بِهِ قَبْلَ مَوْتِهِ وَيَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ يَكُونُ عَلَيْهِمْ شَهِيدًا. At that time, there's not going to be a single person from Ahl al-Kitab except that he will surely believe in Isa ibn Maryam before the death of Isa ibn Maryam. And Isa ibn Maryam is going to be a witness against all of them Yawm al-Qiyamah. It's going to be a witness against all of them Yawm al-Qiyamah. So his coming back is a miracle from the miracles that show the power and the ability and the might of Allah Azza wa Jal, and that we have to believe as Muslims. And we don't say this to please and to appease non-Muslims, especially the Christians. You are not a real Muslim if you don't believe that Isa ibn Maryam was taken up, and for as long as he's been taken up, he's living in a way that Allah knows its reality. Just like the other people who have died from the prophets and the messengers, salawatullah wa salamu alayhim ajma'in, and all of Bani Adam. Those people died, but they're living the hayat in the barzakh. No one knows the reality of it. Isa never died. He was never killed. But Allah Ta'ala raised him up and he's living somewhere in the heavens in a way that Allah knows its reality and his reality. So another dalil of Yawm al-Qiyamah and death being followed by life. That Allah Ta'ala is the one who gives life and he gives death. The fact that he can keep him there for all of those years is easy for him to raise people up after they die, to make them accountable for what they did and to make them and hold them accountable for what they didn't do. In addition to that, Isa ibn Maryam has been dealt with extensively in the Book of Allah as one of those 10 major signs. Many things have been mentioned, and he also is one of the 5 major prophets and messengers. When he comes down, as the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's going to come down in Asham, in that area where all that fitna is going on right now in Syria. He's going to come down at a door called Lud, and he's going to descend, and angels are going to come down with him. We believe in this. And then when he comes down, the Muslims are going to be praying, and the Mahdi is going to be there, and he's going to be about to perform the salat. And knowing that Isa ibn Maryam is bigger than the Mahdi and better than the Mahdi, he's going to say, Isa, you come and you make the salat. But Isa is going to refuse, and he's going to tell him that you people from this ummah, you're the imams one to another. And he gets in the line and he prays behind the Mahdi. Another very important point, ikhwani, that I want you brothers, especially you young brothers, to understand and to know before you leave this masjid. The Mahdi, when he comes, he's going to fill up the earth with justice as it has been filled with inequity and oppression. If he were to come right now, he's going to solve the problem of Somalia. He's going to solve the problem of Iraq, Palestine, Kashmir. Every place where there's some drama and some stress, some static, some beef in this earth, when the Mahdi comes back, he's going to solve all of those problems. The Prophet said about him, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, wa radiyallahu ta'ala an al-Mahdi, the Prophet said about the Mahdi, لو لم يبقى من الدنيا إلا يوم لطوره الله تعالى حتى يبعث رجل من أمتي من أهل بيتي. If there only remained one day in this dunya, tomorrow is the last day in this dunya, Allah is going to extend that day and make it protracted. He's going to extend that day, make it more than 24 hours, so that he can send, and he will send, a man from my ummah who is from my Ahl al-Bayt. The Nabi said about the Mahdi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, يُسْلِهُ اللَّهُ بَيْنَ يَوْمٍ وَلَيْلَةٍ أَوْ كَمَا قَالَ صلى الله عليه وسلم. Allah is going to rectify his situation, the Mahdi. He's not going to always be a religious person, but Allah Ta'ala is going to rectify his situation in one day. And Imam Ibn Kathir, who wrote a book about these fitan, the trials, tribulations, the fitan of the dunya, and these things about Yawm al-Qiyamah, the major and the minor signs, he said the meaning of that hadith is that the Mahdi was not always a religious man, but Allah Ta'ala will rectify his case and he's going to become a religious man, which is a proof and a dalil that anyone who's not practicing, anyone who's falling short of the mark in his or her application of al-Islam should never give up concerning the hope of Allah. The Mahdi comes, he is going to rectify this dunya, and he wasn't always a religious man based upon that hadith and the explanation of some of those ulama of the hadith. I'm not saying that an irreligious person, some regular Abu Bakr Zayd from the people, is going to be the Mahdi, but if Allah Azza wa Jal can and will rectify his issue, then what about everybody else? So we should never look at ourselves as being, I'm no good, that's it. Nor should we look at the people that you know who are not practicing. You should never look at people and be judgmental where you put your nose up and you say, look at him, look at her. Don't be like that. That's not to say you like the evil that they're doing, but being judgmental and not liking the evil are two different things. The point that I want to share with you before you leave this masjid is, when the Mahdi comes and he puts peace and justice in the earth, although that is the case, and although in the scales he is a heavy and extremely heavy personality, nonetheless, all of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all of them are better than the Mahdi. You have to understand that, Ya Abdullah, Muslim. All of the companions, if you can think of any companion, the Bedouin who came into the masjid and he was sitting with the companions, and then he got up and he walked over there and he pulled his pants down and he urinated in front of everyone in the masjid and put najas in the masjid. He's better than the Mahdi. The lady who was married and she committed adultery and she came to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, purify me. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had his companions to stone her until she died. She's better than the Mahdi, and she committed zina. Any companion that you can think of, the well-known ones and the ones who are not well-known, those people who believed in the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and some of them apostated after his death. Some people died as kuffar. Others came back to the religion. They believed in him, they met him, they believed in him, and when he died, some people apostated, and they came back to Islam after his death, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nonetheless, as long as they believed in him and they died believing in him, they're companions, and as a result of that, they are better than the Mahdi. How do we say that? Why do we say that? Why should we know that? How do we say that? Why do we say that? Why is it important? We say that not from our own minds. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the people, لا تسبوا أصحابي فوالذي نفسي بيده لو أنفق أحدكم مثل أحد ذهب ما بلغ مد أحدهم ولا نصيفا. He said, don't curse my companions. Don't curse them. Because I swear by Allah, the one who my soul is in his hands, if any one of you were to spend the size of Mount Uhud in gold as sadaqah, it would never reach half of a mud that one of my companions spent. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, khairun nas qarni, thumma alladhina min ba'dihim, thumma alladhina min ba'dihim. The best people of this ummah, my generation, then the people came after them, the tabi'een, and then the people came after them, the tabi'een, and the Mahdi is way after them. The Mahdi is way, way after them. So when we talk about the Mahdi, we have to respect him and we have to see him as an honorable personality. But all of the prophets and the messengers, salawatullah wa salamu alayhim ajma'een, are better than him. And the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam are better than the Mahdi. And when the Mahdi comes back, he's going to be on the religion of those companions, radiyallahu anhum ajma'een. Concerning Isa and concerning the Mahdi, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wasallam said that when Isa ibn Maryam comes back, he's going to be in this earth for 40 years. And then he's going to die. He said that the Mahdi is going to be on the earth for 5 or 7 or 9. The narrator of the hadith wasn't sure. 5 years, 7 years, or 9 years. Those years that the Mahdi is here, he's going to be with Isa ibn Maryam. When Isa ibn Maryam comes back, he's going to judge by the religion of al-Islam. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, as I mentioned, that he's going to make salat and he's going to tell the Mahdi, you people are the imams of one another. So he's going to make the salat that we do. He's going to do raf'ul yadayn. He's going to say ameen. He's going to hold his right hand with his left hand. The same salat that the Nabi told the people, pray the way you see me praying, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Mahdi is going to break the cross as a sign, or Isa ibn Maryam is going to break the cross as a sign to show the Christians that this cross is nothing but a sign of shirk and disbelief. One of the companions, his name is Adi ibn Hatim, may Allah be pleased with him. He used to be a Christian, and he came to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to hear about the da'wah of al-Islam, the da'wah of al-Tawheed. And he sat and he listened and he watched the Nabi with his companions, and Prophet Muhammad told him so many things. His father was one of the well-known personalities in the Arabian Peninsula. His name is Adi ibn Hatim. Him and his sister were powerful people. He had a cross on. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when the man finally accepted Islam, he told the man, take off from your neck that sign of idolatry. Ilqi an-nafsik, sanam al-jahiliyyah. He said, take off your neck that symbol of al-jahiliyyah, idolatry. So it's not acceptable for a Muslim to wear a cross, make a cross, get a tattoo of a cross. Even in his house, the Prophet ﷺ, if he saw something looking like a cross, he didn't intend for it to be a cross, but he saw something shaped like a cross, he would break it or he would move the situation. And that's part of his love for the Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. Anything that went against and goes against La ilaha illallah, he did something about it. Either with his tongue, with his actions, or hating that particular thing in his heart, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's from the most important aspects of his sunnah. Isa ibn Maryam as well, Ikhwani, is going to slaughter all of the swine, the khinzir. All of the pigs will be slaughtered. And that, again, is because the Nasara, unlike the people who are Jews, they changed the law of the Bani Israel. Isa, he was against eating pork, and it's against the religion of Ahlul Kitab, and yet they made it a part of their religion. So he's going to separate that and make it clear that he is not from those people who allow this type of tahrif and change that transpired in their religion. And he's also going to get married. And the reason why he's going to get married is because getting married is the sunnah of all of the prophets and all of the messengers. The man who is not married is not considered to be a complete man. The Nabi told the people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Man tazawwaja faqad istakmala nisfa dinahu, falyattaqillah fi shatr al-akhir." Anyone who gets married, he has completed half of his religion. Let him fear Allah in the other half. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wasallam, he got married and he told the people getting married, it's for my sunnah. Anyone who forsakes my sunnah is not from me. So Isa ibn Maryam is going to get married, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. During the time of Isa ibn Maryam, during the time of the Mahdi, not only is there going to be a lot of justice, but there's going to be a lot of khairat, a lot of goodness. It's going to be a lot of productivity, to the point that the believers who are living during the time of Isa ibn Maryam will come to him for some, or Isa will go to people trying to look for someone to give them zakat or sadaqah. He's not going to find anyone to receive that sadaqah. The Mahdi, Isa ibn Maryam, they're going to be two of the individuals who are going to wage war. And the war that they're going to wage is a war against disbelief, kufr and shirk. And one of the main people that they'll wage war against is the Dajjal. I don't know if the brother mentioned it earlier, but that Dajjal, out of all of the 10 signs, the major signs, all of those major signs, all 9 of them, call the people to and encourage the people to believe in Allah. When the sun comes from the west, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wasallam told the people that anyone who doesn't believe on that day before it happens, his iman won't have any impact after it happens. But it's going to cause people to believe in La ilaha illallah. All of those signs. The Dajjal is the only sign that he comes to tell the people to disbelieve in Allah. He's going to claim that he is Allah. And he's going to come to the ignorant person, not the knowledgeable person, the ignorant person. And he's going to say to the ignorant person, if I were to bring your mother and your father back to life again, will you believe that I'm your Lord? The man will say, yeah, I'll believe if you can do that. And then the 2 shaitans will appear before that man, and they'll say to him, hey son, follow him and believe in him because he's your Lord. If they do that, they're going to be disbelieving in Allah Azza wa Jalla, and if they die on that, they die upon kufr and shirk. Isa ibn Maryam is going to be the one who's going to kill that Dajjal. He's the one who's going to kill that Dajjal. And Umar radiallahu anhu, for all of the strength that he has, when the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wasallam was disturbed by the little boy Abdullah ibn Sayyad. He was a little kid who lived in Medina, who the shayateen used to descend on him, and he was connected to the world of the jinn. And they used to inform him about different things that were transpiring in the unseen. Even some things close to what was being revealed to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when he used to tell things that the people something was going to happen, it would happen the way he said it was going to happen, and the people were amazed at his situation. The Nabi went to him to test him, and he said, I had some revelation that came to me last night. If you know the unseen, what was that revelation? It was Surah Ad-Dukhan. The boy said Ad-Dukh, and it was pretty close to the word. He just needed a few more syllables, he would have gotten the word. Instead of saying Dukhan, he said Ad-Dukh. Everyone was shocked because it was close. Umar radiallahu anhu said, Ya Rasulullah, let me chop his head off. Let me deal with him. He's the Dajjal, let me deal with him. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ya Umar, if he is the Dajjal, you won't be able to chop his head off. You won't be able to kill him. You don't have the ability. It's not humanly possible for you. Because that would go against the qadr of Allah. That would go against what Allah told me was going to happen in the future. And this is one of the dalils that we believe in the qadr. That the Nabi would tell us about things and they would happen later as he said they would happen. You won't be able to do it. And if he was not the Dajjal and you were to kill him, it would be no benefit. Meaning you will create fitna and fasad. If you were to kill this young boy, the news is going to spread in the Arabian Peninsula that Muhammad kills little kids because they go against him. Now that's a very important point, ikhwani. It's a very important point because the boy was a soothsayer. And the boy was making fitna and fasad. And the boy deserved to be killed. Just like the Jewish lady who gave the Nabi some poison and some of his companions, and when they ate the poison, the Nabi said, it's poison, don't eat anymore. And some of them fell dead. The Nabi didn't kill that Jewish lady. And she tried to kill him. He didn't kill that Jewish lady because he weighed the situation. If I kill that Jewish lady right now, what is going to be the benefit? If I kill that Jewish lady right now, what's going to be the harm? If I kill that Jewish lady right now, what's going to be the harm? If I kill the Jewish lady right now, what's going to be the benefit? He weighed the masalih and the mafsada, the mafasid, and he decided to leave her. So just because something may be the truth that you should say, or something should be the particular thing that you should do, you see something going wrong at the janazah, you don't always have to talk. You don't always have to make a commotion. If you can make a commotion and you can command the good without making fitna, then that's your job and responsibility. But if you're going to make more fitna, then you have to be able to weigh those issues. That's the point. You have to be able to weigh those issues. And our Nabi and our Rasul, that's his sunnah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. No one can ever accuse him of employing the bad or a method that was not beneficial. Salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. So the point of all of that kalam is that Isa ibn Maryam, from what is heavy in his scale, is that he's going to do away with the biggest fitna that Allah created since Adam. The biggest fitna. So that's in his scales. That's one of the khasa'is, or one of the special characteristics of Isa ibn Maryam. From his characteristics, he's the only human being that was born with only a mother and without a father. From his special characteristics is that Isa ibn Maryam was taken up and he's up in the sky for all of those years. Not even the Nabi. This is something he doesn't share with Isa ibn Maryam. And he's going to come back. And he's going to kill the Dajjal. And he has other issues. Salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. And that's our Lord. He does what he wants to do. As for the way that he kills the Dajjal, some of the narrations say that he's just going to grab him and the Dajjal is just going to melt away like salt melts away when you put it in water. And that's easy for Allah Azza wa Jalla. Some of the narrations say that he's going to stab him. The important thing is that he's going to do away with the Dajjal. But there's another issue that we have to bring to your attention about Isa ibn Maryam and weighing the harms and the benefits. When the Ya'juj and the Ma'juj come out, Isa ibn Maryam is not going to fight against them. He's not going to have any issue with them. He's going to run away from them. He's going to take those believers and they're going to go and they're going to make hijrah. And they're going to go up on some mountain to be protected from Ya'juj and Ma'juj because they don't have the ability to deal with the fitna and the power of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. So if a Muslim finds himself in a position of weakness, he has to deal with that situation with wisdom. He has to obey what Allah Ta'ala has mentioned in so many ayat of the Quran. وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ مِنَ التَّهْلُكَةِ. Don't destroy yourselves with your own hands. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُمْ رَحِيمًا. Don't kill yourselves. Allah was ever merciful towards you. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he is one of the major prophets. Noah, Ibrahim, Musa, Isa, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. 5 major prophets. Each and every one of them made hijrah. Each and every one of them left a place where they couldn't worship Allah and they went to another place where the environment wasn't as hostile so that they can worship Allah. And that is a sign for people who reflect. So for the young people in our community, this macho approach to solving problems all the time, it is not from the sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some issues you have to be macho. Someone's about to attack your mother. Someone's going to attack your wife. Someone is going to attack you. You have to stand up and defend yourself. But we're talking about people who are aggressive when aggression is the worst thing to do. It's the thing that's going to create problems. Concerning the Mahdi that the Prophet told us about sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his authentic hadith, there are many Mahdiyun, many Mahdiyun. The Khulafa al-Rashidun, he said, take my sunnah and the sunnah of the Khulafa al-Rashidin al-Mahdiyin. He called Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali radiallahu anhum, they were Mahdiyun. But when we hear Mahdi, we're not thinking about them. We're thinking about this one Mahdi. And the Dajjal is the same way. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِنَّ بَيْنَ يَدَيْ سَاء قَرِيب مِنْ 30 دَجَّالِينَ كَذَّابِينَ كُلُّ وَاحِدٌ مِّنْهُمْ يَقُولُ أَنَا النَّبِي أَنَا النَّبِي. Close to the hour, he said that there will be 30 Dajjals. 30 Dajjals. And they all will be pathological liars. Each one is going to say, I'm a Nabi, I'm a Nabi. But when we hear of a Dajjal, like in the books of Hadith, a man who is a pathological liar and he makes and he creates weak Hadith on the Nabi and he lies. Some of the ulama of Hadith said he's a Kadhab, Dajjal. Someone we know saying crazy things. People say he's a Kadhab, he's a Dajjal. Whenever you read in the Hadith other than that, Dajjal is not talking about those liars. What should go to the mind of the Muslim is the real main Dajjal. In closing, Ikhwani, in the last few minutes, I just want to say, concerning this issue of the Mahdi and the Dajjal is connected to our Aqeedah, as we mentioned earlier. There's a lot to be said and a lot to learn about these issues. If a person leaves himself ignorant, he won't know how to protect himself. If the Dajjal came, he don't know how to protect himself. If someone came with some trickery, he doesn't know how to protect himself. Someone comes and says he's the Mahdi. He's the Mahdi. The person has some basic knowledge that the Mahdi, as the Nabi says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-Mahdi min itrati, min walid Fatima. The Mahdi is from the closest relatives of mine. He's from the descendants of Fatima, from Hassan and Hussein. The guy became a new Muslim. He's a new Muslim, a revert. He called himself Salman because he was impressed with Salman al-Farisi. But he had some mental problems. He started having dreams. And then he came to the masjid and he comes and he tells everyone, I'm the Mahdi. I had a dream, I'm the Mahdi. We say to him, Ya Abdullah, where are you from? He said, I'm from Trinidad. I'm a revert from Trinidad. Your mother and your father, what's their names? He says that his father's name was Jack and his mother's name was Samantha. We say, Wallahi, you're not the Mahdi. The Mahdi, his name is Muhammad ibn Abdullah. The Mahdi comes from the descendants of Fatima and so forth and so on. Point is, you don't have any knowledge. You won't know how to protect yourself from these issues. You won't know how to protect yourself from these issues. This Dajjal, great scholar of Islam from the Tabi'een. His name is Ta'us ibn Kaysan al-Yamani. Based on the hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, every single day the Muslim should be seeking refuge in Allah from the Dajjal at least 5 times a day in every prayer. Every single day. إِذَا تَشَهَّدَ أَحْدُكُمْ فَلْيَسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ أَرْبَعٍ. If any of you make the tashahhud, التَّحِيَّاتُ لِلَّهِ وَالصَّلَوَاتُ وَالطَّيِّبَاتُ, the Nabi says, seek refuge in Allah from 4 things before you say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. In every prayer, wajib prayer, sunnah prayer, every prayer. Why would he tell the people that? So that a day does not go by, a salat does not go by except that you're paying attention to that issue. The companions used to sit with the Nabi and he would tell them about the Dajjal, and they would sit there worried. Something caught the attention of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam while he was telling them about the Dajjal. He looked over there. When he looked, because they paid attention to him, they looked as well. The Nabi looked back at them and they were looking over their skin. The Nabi said, what's the matter? They say, you were telling us about the Dajjal and then you looked over there. We thought he was going to come out. The Nabi told them, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِذَا خَرَجَ الدَّجَّالُ فِيكُمْ عَلَيْكُمْ وَأَنَا فِيكُمْ فَأَنَا حَجِيجٌ كُلُّ مُسْلِمٍ وَإِذَا خَرَجَ وَلَسْتُ فِيكُمْ فَكُلُّ مُسْلِمٍ حَجِيجٌ نَفْسِهِ. If he were to come out right now, I will be your protector against him. That shows the virtues of the companions. If the Dajjal came out right now, the Nabi is going to deal with him. All the companions have to do is get behind the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, but if he came out after I'm dead, after I'm gone, because I'm not hazir nazir, because I'm going to die. If he comes out when I'm gone, then everybody is responsible for himself. How can we protect ourselves from the Dajjal when in the streets in the city of Birmingham, we can go to any Imam, Maulvi Saab, and he gives us a ta'weed, and he gives us a magic potion, and he gives us something to drink, something to eat, and we believe in that. Wallahi, that's a walk in the park in comparison to the fitna of a Dajjal. So that companion, or the tabi'i, al-Imam Ta'us, if his son did not seek refuge in Allah from the Dajjal, he would say, hey boy, cover up your mouth when you yawn. He said, hey boy, did you seek refuge in Allah from the Dajjal? To his son, did you seek refuge in Allah from the Dajjal? The boy said, no, Abi. The father said, go do the prayer over again. If you don't seek refuge in Allah from Dajjal in the salat, your salat is not batila. Your salat is okay. It's the sunnah to do that. But why would he teach his son to do that? Why? Because the Dajjal, the majority of the people going to follow him, they're going to be men, they're going to be women, and they're going to be children. They're going to be your wives, and our children. The people who believe in everything, they believe in everything. It's easy for you to trick them. And unfortunately, some brothers believe in everything in the YouTube that we see, we believe in it. The man, Dynamo, the magician, was walking on the Thames River. And that's on the internet. He's walking on the river. And they have the people saying stuff from the street in London. And Muslims actually believe that that man is walking on the river. David Blaine, he walked through the glass. He walked through the glass. I saw it on the internet. Wallahi, I saw it on the internet. The soil is being prepared. This type of hocus pocus stuff. Easy. Our children believe in this nonsense. Our women sit and watching Bollywood movies, Hollywood movies, Nollywood movies. If you give your intellect to that, you know, the politicians, it's not a political talk, but the politicians make the masses think whatever they want us to think about everything. Whatever they want you to think, that's what we think. But the Muslim is not like that. And again, this is the importance of following those companions. Abdullah bin Mas'ud, he said, don't be a copycat. Don't be a copycat. If the people do good, you do good. And if the people do bad, you do bad. He said, but instead, weigh what's going on. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us, our women, and our children from the fitna of a Dajjal, and that He puts our feet and our hearts firmly upon the kalimah of Tawheed and the littiba' to the Nabi of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his brother Isa ibn Maryam. The Nabi told everybody here, if Isa ibn Maryam comes back and you're living and you meet him, then give him my salams. He made that a responsibility. If Isa ibn Maryam comes back, when he comes back, if you're living, he told his companions, if you're living, then give him my salams. There are some people who say, that's clam. But then there's the person of Ahl Sunnah. He loves the kalam of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He loves those types of statements. That's information he didn't know. So he puts that in his pocket, in his memory bank. So there are a lot of things, ikhwani, that we should learn concerning these things. So pay a lot of attention to the aqeedah of al-Islam, the aqeedah of those companions.